are live. New camera. Yo, this looks so good. I'm just over here gushing about my own camera. We ready? All right, getting everything set up. How's it going, guys? How's it going, everybody? We rolling. Okay, today's a good day. We're going to be doing some portfolio reviews, and we're also going to be doing a live tutorial. Woo! What's up, Darwin? Hey, Pringlesh. How you doing? Oh, Pringle shawarma. Sorry. Pringlesh, my bad. Thank you for doing the review. Yeah, definitely. Doing 4 reviews today. It's gonna be a great day. I'm actually gonna lower the time to 10 minutes per, because I feel like a lot of the same stuff comes up often. So, but yeah, how you doing, John? We doing good? We doing good? Yo, it's gonna be awesome today. I think. Hold up, I gotta close Slack so y'all don't hear it all day. Yeah, today's gonna be great. I'm wrapping up the week. I hope you all are wrapping up the week, having a good week. And so today is gonna be really fun. I'm gonna be hey James, make sure you go over. You can definitely get a portfolio review. However, not today because this is the plan. So basically, if you go to this link right here, this rad portfolio reviews, it's also in my bio. But that's going to take you out to a screen that looks like this, right? We've got the leaderboard. We've got join the review queue, which is the form to sign up for, and then also you can view the queue. Now I didn't update this the other day, so yeah, but we're definitely into June at this point on the reviews on the queue. So. Do I do the live around this time every day? Yeah, I've been kind of messing up my schedule. I've been figuring out what I want to do with all of this stuff because it's a big one. I want to get into I want to do more, but also at the same time I've been so behind on so many things doing these like 2-hour lives a day. So I'm actually kind of switching up my plan a little bit. So I'm going to do at least 2 times a week, probably 3 times a week. But also one of the big ones is I'm going to do it a little bit later. 3 o'clock Eastern time is when I'm going to start. Now it's not 3 o'clock Eastern time right now. It's 2:15. but yeah, I've got a meeting today, so because my schedule hasn't been updated. So anyways, new schedule is going to be 3 o'clock Eastern, and then we're going to get into it. So what's up, Vivek? How you doing? Why does text sometimes always line in the end when you have to fix the height manually? Why does text sometimes always align in the end when you have to fix the text manually? Maybe we could go into that a little bit. I'm guessing that's an auto layout thing. What about always on? No, I know, Kanan. What's up, bro? How you doing? Yeah. All right. So, is it worthwhile to get into the UX design industry? Is it too saturated? I don't think so. I'm biased. I am in the design industry, and I also teach the design industry a bit. But I'll tell you, it's always been hard to tell. I spent 4 years grinding on my own before I really got into the industry in a big way. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely easier paths than the path I took. There's also people who are coming out of college ready to go and who are getting hired right now. And that's because they're hustling on their own. They're not just waiting for people to teach them. They're grinding. And that's the thing. There's three P's. I'm going to say it every live. Here we go. Passion. All right. You got to have passion. You got to come home from work and work because you're so excited that you want to open your laptop, hop in Figma, and fiddle around, right? That's a big one. Passion. You got to have passion for this. It's not going to be easy if you don't have passion for this. Now, passion is going to lead to persistence. It's going to lead to you grinding and saying, okay, I want to go learn typography today, and you go do it. You don't say, oh, I got to learn typography, and then you watch a tutorial and you say you're good, you know what you're doing. No, you're going to like hustle for a week or 2 or a month, playing with typography and learning how it works and all that. And that goes for every skill in the UI UX world, right? So that's the last one is patience, right? So we got passion, which leads to persistence, which leads to patience. Because if you have patience and you're being persistent and you are also passionate about learning, then you're going to make it in anything you do, right? Whether it's coding, design, some other skill, whatever, that's it. So let's just get into the real stuff today. I'm really excited about this one. So I did I spelled this wrong. So I did a post about this the other day. But if you want to come in to the live, if you happen to be on a computer, you can check this out right here. This link right here is going to take you into this file right now. You'll come join me. But one of the big things that I'm going to be showing basically is this guy. So we're going to we're going to recreate this. Okay, so you're going to be able to move around using your arrow keys, and then you'll also be able to move with these little pads here as well. So we're gonna make Game Boy inside of a Figma prototype. You in? I'm in. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just like remove all of these things. We're gonna start from scratch. All right. Let's do it. I'm also going to pull these out, and I'm gonna break them from a component. We're gonna delete that component. We'll also delete it here. Okay. So this is going to be called left. This is going to be called up. This is going to be called down. This is going to be called right. I'm doing great. How about you, Mohammed? Okay. So basically, how this is going to work, there's a few things in here I also need to disconnect as well. 250. Okay. All right. And then this needs to be to like 110. I'm doing pretty good. I've got a little bit of earache today, but it's pretty good. So hey, yeah, I'm always recording. I'm over on YouTube right now, streaming over there. So you can always recheck or check any of the old streams as they happen over there over on my YouTube channel. So we've got left, down, up, and right ash. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grab this, and instead of just pressing right here, we're going to press this button right here. And it's going to do create component set, okay? So now I have a component set of ash, and each of these over here on the side panel, I'll drag this in so it's in view. Each of these are left, down, right, and up, okay? So I'll pull this out. I could swap this over to right, and it's going to be updating to the other side, right? Obviously, we all know how components work. Now, where the magic is in the variables. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these variables. So we're starting from scratch as well. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, gosh. That made it really big. Okay. So let's dig into it. So we have to create a set of variables. We need to create one that points ash in different directions, right? So when we're moving the arrow keys left, up, right, down, whatever, it's going to automatically move ash out of into the direction that we're moving, right? So we need to make a string variable. We're going to call this direction, and we'll call this down for now, or lowercase down. Okay, so easy. We're going to move this component into the frame over here. All right, I'm going to center it. And now here's where the magic starts happening. So over here, instead of setting it in this drop down, right? Can y'all see that okay? Instead of setting it in this drop down over here, we're going to assign it, but with this little cog right here. Hovering on this cog on the right of it is going to pull this open, and we're going to call this, or we're going to select the direction, okay? So now we have the ability to, when we open our styles or our variables up, if we switch this from down to say up, he switches over. You see that? All right. So we're now officially set from the variable standpoint to get ash looking in the different direction. Okay. So what else do we have to do? Well, we have to move this map in the background, right? So we do this with changing the height on this multi-level auto layout. All right. Now, what does that mean? Let me go ahead and unclip this so you can see kind of the background of how this is working. So basically, we've got this map here, right? This is the image, and basically as you move, this is moving, ash is not moving, right? Ash is going to be in the center of the view, and that's it, right? So, so what we have to do though is based on the auto layout that's inside of this this map, or sorry, we have the map inside of an auto layout, and there's two levels, right? There's one that is based on the left and right. And this changes based on the width of this rectangle right here, right? So as the rectangle moves or increases in width, it's going to move the map to the left, right? Then there's another layer down here, which is this box right here. This one, instead of the width, right, width doesn't matter on this one. Instead, we're looking at height. So when the height goes up and down, the map is going to be moving in the background of Ash, right? So all that to say, let's get into it. So let's get a center point going. Maybe we have them start on this little pathway, right? Now, well, the pathway, no. We can't make fences work, okay? I can't do fences, but we can do the height so that we go here, boom, okay. No, I'm going to be getting to the portfolio reviews in just a minute, probably about 5 more minutes, okay? Sit tight. Okay, so now I'm going to go create some variables. So we've got the direction. We need to create a few more variables. First variable that we need to create is the x, right, which is going to be a number. So x is, how big was this? 143. Okay, so we're going to put this to 140. Boom. Then we're going to create a y. No, that's y. Y is up and down, okay? X is another number, which needs to be the left and right, and that is 460, okay? Perfect. Okay, so now we've got our variables. We're going to go set the width and the height of those rectangles, right? So remember, this one matters. When we increase the width, it's going to move the map to the left and the right. So instead of setting it inside of this field, we're going to press this drop down. We're going to apply the variable of y. No. Apply the variable of x. Okay. And then over here, we're going to do the same drop down, apply the variable of y this time, not x. Okay. So now when we move these y and x on the variable map, it's going to be moving the y and the x of Ash. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and clip this again so that we can't see the background anymore. And now we need to make these work. Now I could sit here and make these buttons work, but let's just make the left or the right button work for now. And then I'm going to go kind of duplicate it really quick. Okay, so head over to prototype and create a new interaction where on click, it's going to set a variable, and we're going to set the direction to right. Perfect. So when you hit the right key, it's going to turn Ash to the right. Then we need to also update our x coordinate, right? so we need to set x to x plus 10. Okay? So let's see what happens. So Ash is currently looking upwards. We're going to hit the right. Boom. All right. We've got it moving. Fancy. Let's keep it going, though. Let's keep it going. So now we want to also do that to all the other keys, right? So I'm going to copy this by hitting just to the left of this. I'm going to copy this, paste it. I'm going to change the direction to up. Yo, what's up, Osama? How you doing? And then I'm going to turn Y to Y plus 10. Okay? I'm going to copy this again. Move it down. The direction is going to go to down. And then we're going to turn Y to Y minus 10. Okay? And then over here, same deal. Copy it. All right. Turn it to direction left. And turn X to X minus 10. All right. Let's see if this works. Right, left, up. Oh, we're going backwards. Ash is walking backwards. That's okay. So we can fix this. So I got these inverted. So instead of X or Y plus 10, it's going to be Y minus 10. And then this is going to be Y plus 10. Here we go. Up, down, left, right. Up, down, down, left, right. Up, down, left, right. Magic happens. Okay. So you see that? How are we feeling? Does that make sense? That was a lot. It was a bit complex. We just made a Game Boy inside of Figma. But now we've got up, down, left, right, and the map is moving. We can also take this a step further and copy this interaction up top. So I'm gonna copy this interaction and paste it on the same exact interaction and change from on click to on key. And we're gonna go down, okay? Same deal here. Copy, on click, key, right, copy, click, on key, up, whoa, shit. Okay, here we go. One more. On key, left. All right. Now how's this gonna work? This is gonna look really good, I think. Okay, let's pop it open in a full view so we get all the juice. You can even hold it down. He's moving. He's moving. He's moving. Isn't this so cool? All this inside of a Figma prototype. Wow. Wow. Okay. That's it. That's the tutorial of the day. Congrats, everybody. So, thank you, Mel. Marvel, what's happening? Yeah, let me check DMs after this. I'll get back to you, all right? I promise. Okay, so that was great. Pokemon Game Boy, done. 10 minutes. 10 minutes that took. And we got a nice little Game Boy action. Here, let's fit it to the screen. There you go. Bing. It's just fun. How can we use this in the real world? Well, actually, I did do this in a prototype at work when I was working at a startup. We were redoing this thing that required a lot of precision in the in this like flow. Basically, you dropped an element on your website was the flow, and people were using their mouse initially, and it made it where it was very inconsistent, and it was like we needed it to be like super tight and consistent. And so we added this step where you could use the arrow keys, and I wanted to show that because a lot of the stakeholders weren't buying the transition. They were like, well, is this really needed? Because we were kind of piggybacking on some other optimizations as well. And so we really wanted to sell like, yo, this is really fucking cool. This is very needed. Let's do it. And so that's how I first built this version of it, was I actually used it in real life in work. Now, I probably will never use it again in a prototype for actual work, but it's a big one, and it closed the deal with the stakeholder. So and he was like, okay, yeah, that's it. We got to do it. Then the next thing was I wanted to do it where if you hold shift, you move faster, right? Kind of how you do it inside of Figma, right? You move your arrow keys, but you hold shift and you get a 10 pixel nudge instead of a 1 pixel nudge. And so then I was like, okay, well, I already got this prototype. Let me just show the developer like how important this thing is, right? And so I made this other one. So I basically took the same keys, right? So here, instead of this key, I copied it and I did on shift right. It goes plus 20 pixels, right? So then we could do the same thing over here. So we're going right, holding shift right, boom, we're moving faster, right? Now we're moving slower. So so that was kind of how I could like show and demo like, yo, dude, we need this. We need this. Come on, give it to me, please. So yeah, all right. Yo, Joe the Creative, thanks for following me. ... Appreciate you following me as well. And yeah, glad you caught the live as well. All right, let's get into it. I've got an hour left before I got this meeting, so let's go. We got 4 portfolio reviews to do. I'm gonna aim for 10 minutes each. Are we ready? Let's go. We got 10 minutes on the clock. And who's the first one? The first one is gonna be Paniz or Peniz. I'm gonna go with Paniz on that. Okay, so let me just clean up the viewport a little bit. Viewport. All right. Did I ever recover from the investments I made in unicorns? I'm still paying off a lot of debt. Now I'm doing this now, and it's bringing me in a good amount of like livable revenue. But yeah, I'm still kind of like building up my steam over here. But yeah, hopefully one day we'll get back to it. All right, I want to give Paniz their due, so I'm going to restart it. 10 minutes on the clock. Okay, so we got a dribble link. Now, I've talked about this at length. where if I'm hiring for, a designer, when I see a Dribble or a Behance link, it kind of is a little bit of a negative for me. It's not a instant I'm not going to hire you or interview you or anything like that, but it does affect my view of you, right? Now, look, when everybody else is giving me custom URLs, right? And not everybody, but at least like 80% have a custom URL. You don't even need to actually have it published. It could be a staging URL of like Wix or Webflow or Framer or whatever. It could be a staging URL, and that's fine. But at least you handcrafted your stuff. And the reason why this is important is look at this. Look at this viewing experience for me as a person who's trying to hire, right? If I'm coming on here and I'm saying, should I hire Panisse? Well, which project should I look at, right? What did she do on these? What was the context of these? It gives me nothing. She might even have more here if I was to sign in, right? But there's so much work that it makes it, and I know that it's just one shots, right? Like maybe some of them are case studies. Okay, this one's a case study, so that's cool. But not every single one is going to be a case study. Okay, you got one extra shot on it, right? So instantly, I'm gonna know that I'm not gonna get as much strategy, and then additionally though, and this is the bigger problem is how do I pick this project, Atomic Design Sys ... versus Welcome to my ing ... right? What makes me want to pick this one over that? I think that's the real problem with Dribble and Behance is you need to give me context to get me excited to go look at one of these projects, right? Because some people, I've always said I'm going to give you one project at least, no matter what. But I know some people would probably look at this and be like, if I don't see banging UI that's worthy of an interview already, then I might not just move on, close the tab, So all that to say, I'm just going to go with the most recent shot. We got an atomic design system transforming shortcomings into opportunities. In my previous role as a product designer, upon joining the team, identified several shortcomings, got some pain points. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like the visualizations on these. These are good visualizations. Like it sums it up. We're getting into bigger, words now that I probably won't read through. Yeah, that's the other side too, right? Is how do you identify those? I think there needs to be one more additional like finding or breakdown of it. Just kind of had those issues. Now, and here's the thing. We all feel issues when we see them, right? Like when we see them, we're like, oh, this is a problem. And then we need to go confirm whether it's worth our time. That's the real thing. And so I think Panisse coming up with, hey, these are time-consuming updates. We have communication breakdowns, all of that. All that's fine on the surface level to say. Maybe just give me like one more block of content to really hit that home for me on how you came to that and more importantly, how did you get your stakeholders to say, yes, this is a problem we're solving. Let's go make a design system because this would help it, right? I think that's the other side. So try to frame the problem, seek a deeper understanding. How can we begin to implement it? As a result of these efforts, I achieved the following milestones. Okay. Yeah, and that's again, you gave me no context on like the steps that went through, cause dude, like big thing with design systems is like design systems is basically the only work you're doing is managing stakeholders. Like you're not, especially when you're creating one from scratch or starting a new one, kind of thing. It's you need to make sure that the team is going by it. Otherwise, you're never going to be bridging the gap between design and development teams, right? If you're not working constantly with developers, and you're not saying, hey, stakeholders who are trying to sell a bunch of work or sell to new customers, hey, we need to not build anything for like 2 months as we build out a component system and a design system, and developers are just going to like be hamstrung for the next probably quarter as we finish this design system and get it ready. Like that just kind of shows that, hey, did we actually get this launched? You know what I mean? Because okay, and I guess at the end of the day, it's not that much of a component system, right? We got some, got topography stuff. I mean, that should already be kind of already there, right? But definitely, I mean, these look okay. Yeah, they look okay. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is the trouble. It's like I just didn't get too much background on this. Seamlessly integrated the design system into 2 projects, the football club and the Smile online shop. Okay, so maybe this is like a part of an agency, and you made a system inside of the agency to go make stuff quicker. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Give me that juice, right? That's not worth 5 of these cars. That's, hey, I worked at an agency, and they we're constantly starting from scratch every project. We wanted to make creation of new projects and maintenance of old projects a lot easier by creating a design system. Boom, that's easy. That's an instant sell. You were coming in at product designer. I was thinking you were working on a product team. Well, no, it seems like you're working on an agency, and that's fine. That's fine to have a design system, and that is actually valuable. And it shows like, hey, you could actually get that implemented. Going like this project's not going to have it, but the next one will, kind of thing. So I think that's the thing. Is like lacking that context because it's a dribble demo. You know what I mean? Seems like similar level of deep dive over there as well. So, all right. Hey, everybody, if you want a portfolio review, head over to my bio link. And in there's a portfolio review button. Join the queue or also get a live portfolio review. You can get into those. Now, just a heads up, I'm doing 4 of these a day. And I'm trying to do at least 2 sessions a week, maybe 3 sessions a week. And already that means that we are booked up until end of May. We're currently at end of May, so it might be a little bit, but get your name on the list. I stream over on YouTube all the time, and so you can always rewatch your stuff if you realize that you missed your view. Okay, so okay, let's continue on. So we got 3 minutes left on the clock. I would say I'd say I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. Worthy stuff. The designs look okay. It's just without strategy behind it. I just, it's a pretty picture. That's about, and even this is just a splash screen, or no, it's a 404 screen. And so it's kind of, do we need to give this much strategy to a 404 screen? I mean, I guess if you are, that's cool, but like that probably means that you also have strategy on every other thing, but I'm not seeing that at all. And so I think that's the trouble that I'm feeling, you know what I mean? So, thanks so much for the love, everybody, over on TikTok. Appreciate you. What experience level are these portfolios? Is there a profile description to manage expectations? My guess is a lot of these will be junior level. So far, we've probably reviewed a few that are already junior level, like they're working as designers. I think I've reviewed about 30 so far, and on these lives, and they typically are junior level portfolios. But I can definitely review for senior level as well. I used to be a lead designer, and so that's kind of the context that I'm giving is my time when I hired as a designer on my startup teams, like what is the stuff that I'm looking at on the portfolio. And so I just wanted to also say, take all of my advice with a grain of salt. I've never worked in a corporate environment, and that is by design because I want to actually see my work hit the light of day. And I also want to be like more in control of my destiny and the product's destiny. And like that's what I love about designing. And so anyways, that's my context where I'm coming at is will a startup look at this and want to hire you? Most likely though, if you grind hard enough, you could probably use the same portfolio for a startup as like a corporate product team kind of thing. But again, yeah, why do you want to work at corporate product team? Don't do it. Covered what, missed out on the why. Yep. Love it, Mel. Love it, Mel. Yeah. And one more thing is to explain why you chose Atomic Design System. Yeah, I mean, but like, isn't every design system an atomic design system? Like, maybe I'm talking with a wide brush right now, but like atomic design is basically like the theory behind why we make design systems the way we do, right? I could be wrong. I guess like alternatively, you could just like have like a straight up UI kit. But even then, like, why wouldn't you design those components in atomic format so that when you create new components that they are like going to be able to unify across the rest of the product, right? Okay, up on time. Let's go. 10 minutes. Next one up. We got Elizabeth Falcon. So it's funny, been getting a lot of custom portfolios, and then today have back to back Behance and Dribbles. We actually have a third Behance as well coming up. So fun to see. I think a lot of the same stuff that I was just saying is, look, a lot of this stuff looks pretty good, but what is this project, right? You did a website design. What is one at school? Is this product, web, branding? It looks like a lot of this is web design, which is fine, right? But it's like, it inherently, because of the format of the portfolio being on Behance and Dribble, it makes it where it's super lenient, or like super focused on the end result, which is fine. I like end result, but I really want to get some juice on like what you did and why, so that I can be like, hey, I'm going to hire this person for product design. Which one of these is the product design shot, or which one of these was like a very intense website that needed a lot of work and therefore could translate some of those tactics into the product design world, right? And so I think that's what's missing here is it makes it hard for me as a hiring manager to decide which case studies I want to look at. I did my startup. I did my internship in a startup, and now my work is under NDA. Oh, let me pause really quick and talk about that for a sec. So look, I'm not a legal person. I don't know too much around the legalities of your NDA specifically, but also just NDAs in general. I do have some, but what I would say though is like, if you're applying with jobs and it says on your, you have a case study, you click it and it says locked under NDA or whatever, or password protected. I think it's a negative. It's a negative, and so I think what you need to do is find a way to use those UI patterns that you did in that, completely redo it, but like use the strategy of those UIs to make a fake case study project completely separate from that NDA project, right? And again, make sure you're very careful with that. Don't focus on the idea, because you don't want to be pushing out like NDA ideas, like the stuff that's locked in behind NDA. But you do want to show that, hey, I was in a team, there was strategy involved, and I made some UI that addressed that. And so like, how can you use those steps and basically make a whole new fake project that can still address that? You know what I mean? I think that's a really big thing. And it sucks. It sucks. NDAs, it just really sucks for everybody involved except the company. The company really screwed you on that one, and I'm sorry that happened. However, I will say that it's hard to get an interview with only NDA projects. So find a way to make some fake stuff. All right. Have a big problem in Iran. Can't connect international apps for doing jobs at UI UX projects. Interesting. Okay. Could you elaborate on that, Danielle? Back as every stream. Hell yeah. Welcome back. Appreciate you showing up. All right. Let's get back to it. Okay. So we are currently reviewing Elizabeth's portfolio. They are, let's see. So they've got a few projects. Seems like mostly in the web design space, which is fine. I'll just go with the most recent one because, the most recent one is most likely, let's see. Is any of these like really viral or anything? Okay, no. Not a big deal. Oh, that one's got 500. Let's check that one out. It's a web design concept. The shop of product from Bali. I gotta say, like, case studies in Behance are always really nice looking. You know what I mean? The design's pretty good. Yeah, interesting designs. Are you guys hearing that? Let me pause that in case there's some audio. Yeah, okay. And that's the problem with Behance case studies, though, is like, it was just like, hey, let's make a cool looking design, right? That was about what that one got, That's cool. Again, it's like cool looking design. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Like, the design's cool. Yeah, it feels a bit branding heavy, right? Which is fine. I could review a branding portfolio. I'll say I haven't done branding work in a long time, probably 7-ish years. I used to do a lot of branding, but yeah, I've also never hired for branding. So I'll leave it at, if I was trying to hire you for my web design client projects, I think that the designs are good. What I'm missing though, is I don't even need a strategy. I don't even need to see that you're like that you're like, hey, they had these problems, and so we did this like competitive analysis and all this stuff. Like that's fine. Like, it would be great if you had some of that, but I don't even need that. What I'm mostly looking for in a portfolio that's like this, where it's just mostly like end result shots, is I need to see at least a little bit of something that will say, hey, if they handle some adversity, what's it going to be like, right? What's the process that it would be like engaging with them? Would it be, like if I tried to administer my process and said, hey, we need to start with this, this, and this, like, are they going to be able to do that? Are they going to be able to speak up? And I think that's the trouble that I feel with a lot of these, the Behance, the Dribbles kind of portfolios, is just the not only is the strategy missing, the process is missing as well from this. And again, it looks pretty good on the end results, and it's unique designs, so that's cool. I would just be like, dang, can Elizabeth replicate this for my stuff? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I'll leave it there. I think I'll leave it there. I've been giving ratings to these, and I would say that the overall work on these is a solid, for web design and branding vibes, I would say this is a solid 7.5. Like, good enough to get work probably. And you probably have a process that you abide by. I'm just not like feeling it outside of, hey, I made a style guide, and so I think that would be what's missing for me, is that would elevate the rest of it. However, at this point, I just feel like I can't even really rate the rest of it because it's not there. You know what I mean? It's important to have theory no matter what the project is because of the key skills it shows. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. That's true. I guess what I'm saying, Mel, is like, if we're going to just take it for what it is, at least give me the steps that I'm going to expect when I'm working with you. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'd like to see out of that. So, all right, let's keep going. Moving quick today. We're moving really quick. Dina, Humanity Center. We got a custom portfolio. All right, Humanity Center, designer, researcher, and creative with a background in psychology, neuroscience, and AI. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. What type of work do you do though? Because I was expecting I don't know. I wasn't expecting these shots for the case studies. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's definitely interesting, right? I thought it was like an about me section for a second. Do you make a cat feeding station? That's cool. Wow. Okay. Powering households to reduce food waste. Okay. Cool. Okay. So first off, I typically rate the hero section. What my rubric is kind of as follows. Is there concise copy that tells me exactly what you do and the people you do it for, like companies, startups, whatever. Like that would be kind of like a 10 out of 10 on the copy, right? For the overall like design vibes, that's another kind of one, is just like it looks good. And then the bigger one is the layout. Is can we give me a reason to scroll to this, right? Have this started peeking through a little bit would be great. So I think all that to say, I think this one is probably it's like a 6. The copy's pretty good. It's clear and concise. However, it does feel now disconnected to whatever the hell's going on down here. So that's why the 6 is happening. I think too, like having this peeking through would be great. And the brain needs to be like faded out just a little bit more. I think like for me, less brain, more skill display, right? Somehow, right? And it seems like more UX side and research side, which is fine, and so that's tough to display on here. Hey Kyle, how do you submit? Head to my bio link And right here, there's a join the queue button. Yeah, that takes you to an Airtable form. Okay, let's continue. So we got Asha Daya, Sahaj. It's like, there is a subtle animation. It's very subtle. I just also don't really like the color, you know? I don't know. Like, yeah, it's like almost brown, but it's just gray enough to where it's like acceptable. But yeah, there's like a very slight right here. You can see the little lines on the gradient going. So I like it. The motion is great. I like to see motion. So yeah, I think 6.5. Yeah. All right, let's just pick one. I like this one. This one's pretty interesting. Let's just this one feels like it might have some product side to it. Interesting video. Okay. And the visual design is pretty good. Like it feels very handcrafted, which is nice. There's a lot of words though. A lot of words. I also typically rate the hero section of the case studies, and I think that this one is pretty good. You tell me what it is, like how you did it, right? You did it with the Unicorn Grocery Store machine learning engineer. Yeah, so I'd say like above the fold, we're sitting at a 6.5 still, maybe a 7, maybe closer to a 7, but it's yeah, there's just so much text. Yeah, like cut this, right? Responsibilities. You led user research. Fine. Get to the rest of that down here. You know what I mean? Don't tell me that yet, because it's gonna make me read none of this. You know, primary aim for the project is to address and find solutions to the issue of household food waste. See, and like you've got this translation and all that. Like, and that's fine, right? It shows some culture vibes to it, and I like all that, right? I just think you could have said the primary aim for the project is to address and find solutions to this issue of household food waste, right? This, I'm not going to read this. It's too long, Yeah, like, okay. And I always say this. Every work that we do as a designer, whether it's product design, whether it's a new product, whether it's web design and rebranding, whatever, all of it starts from a problem, right? There's a problem, like we're not getting enough sales, or people aren't converting enough once they onboard, or people aren't even going through the onboarding after they sign up, right? Like those are issues. Those are problems that started and brought on our work as designers, right? And so I think like that's the thing for me is, can we get all of this instead of giving me the culture vibes, instead of giving me some of the collaboration stuff, like you really need to nail this thing, right? This thing needs to be as simple as these 2 lines, right? Make these the paragraphs that I can choose to read or not. But above the fold, if you said, people are not being sustainable with their food and they're wasting a lot of it, right? And we, like according to Unicorn Grocery Store, right? Like that in my research at Unicorn Grocery Store, we found a lot of food waste and not sustainable practices, right? Boom. Okay. Now I get, like, already you give me the context of the project a little bit. You give me the context of the problem, and that's the biggest thing, right? So, yeah. What's the impact by creating innovative solutions, generating diverse range of recipes? Yeah, I think cut this impact too. Yeah. Yep. It feels like they focus on everything they can do instead of what they should do. Yep. And that's fine too, right? Like I get it. Everything has so much context to it. So, and now ultimately our understanding of design is it comes down to context, right? But again, yeah, like give me the context of the things you did and why you did them. That's really what matters to me. I don't really care about, Asha or Unicorn Grocery Store, right? I want to see if I throw you in my work, in my project or my team, will you be able to do what you did for Unicorn Grocery Store? So, yeah, exactly. Explanation's good. It shows some culture too, which is awesome too. That's memorable, right? That's a memorable thing. So find a way to do that in like, this much words overall, like maybe even less than that, but that much. So cool. I like that you show me final UI, and then get into the stuff. I'm a fan of that. So typically what I do, just to give you guys a heads up, when I'm reviewing portfolios, I'll jump in, I'll go all the way like this, and I'll just like start looking at some of this stuff, and I'll be able to make a call on whether they're good at UI or not. And from what I see, they're pretty good. I think that probably they need another year before they're really good at UI and can like make anything look great. This all looks pretty good. Some of the spacing is weird. These buttons are really small. The shadows here are too aggressive. And also the shadow, if any of these should have shadows, it should be the active one. It shouldn't be the other ones. But then also too, then that leaves it where the white is white on white. Well, then maybe that's a problem in general with your design. And so that just kind of is one of those things that show me like the design decisions that were made on the UI side started to add up, and they weren't patient enough to go back and restart and, rethink how select and non-selected should be looking at. And, just small stuff that you can pick up really quickly as a further along designer kind of thing. But anyways, so that's what I would do. And then I would be like, okay, if it's good, then I'll keep going and dive more detail. I feel like it's good enough to warrant at least understanding her strategy and process. So let's continue. State of food waste. Wow, okay, so you go in even more in depth on food waste epidemic. Then don't give me any context up here. Drop all of this context and give me this, because this is good. You got data points and data points. You got 70% of it is directly due to households. Fuck, like this is great. Just put that up here. Done. Move on. I get it. So cool. Again, cut this in half would be great. The data and the research looks great, and so I think too, like you're trying to lean into the research, which is good. So like, if you really want to share this amount of information, the way you presented it is pretty good. It's simple enough, quick enough. You bolded the ones that matter. And it's data focused, so I like it. Just move this up here and cut all of this shit. We're up on 10 minutes. I'm gonna keep going though because we're ahead on the other two. Okay. Production. 1/3 of food is wasted each year, largely due to overproduction. Okay. Have sources been added? No, I don't see any. That's true, Mel. You got it. Oh damn, I wouldn't have caught that. You're right though. I mean, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I don't see any though, right? Maybe down lower we got some. 25 million tons of greenhouse gases emitted each year, 7% of total food. I like this. I like this graphic. It feels very, like it makes sense. Like, this is the problem. It's really laid out, and it's visualized in a great way. So I like a lot of it. Voices Against Waste. I'm not gonna read any of that. This is cool. See, like shots like this are okay for me. Just know that I can't read it, right? So when it takes up half the viewport height, it's a waste of space almost. You know what I mean? Vanch, who is currently number 1 on the leaderboard rankings, they did an awesome bento that I really love. I think it's killer. Look at this. Boom. All that's done in less vertical height than what you've got, and it covers the entire steps, right? Which over here you got 1, 2, 3, basically three visualizations and about 3 viewport heights worth of scroll for me to see what Vance did in half a viewport height, right? That like those things. Like this in itself is almost a design case study itself, right? Like the way that you present your information, I'm judging that too, right? And sometimes I don't even like purposefully judge it. I'm just like, holy shit, Vanch can present information. That's going to go a long way when we're working with all the stakeholders we've got. You know what I mean? Like that's like what you feel when you see that. And I think that's what's missing right here for me is it's just more huge text and tall images that I can't read. And I can kind of read these, but yeah, I mean, I don't even think that's because I'm zoomed. Yeah, look, it's not even because of the weird viewport orientation. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna kind of skip some of this stuff. Good to see lo-fi. I like this. I think this is good as a zoom out. Shows that you got a lot of screens in this and you put some work and iteration into it, which is the purpose of showing this visualization, right? So I think that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So we've got some testing, and I would love to see these buttons or things right here visualized as quotes. They obviously are quotes, but you could definitely put those in like on top, like text bubbles or something like that. Visualize on top of those, Okay, got high fidelity prototype. Okay, yeah, I mean that looks pretty good. Honestly, like this one better than these, as like from a UI perspective. I think that the color is like, I would love to see it either less saturated or darker, and less brownish green, yeah. Okay. Yeah, again, I kind of already talked about the designs a little bit more. Yeah, okay. So I'd say overall the designs themselves are probably a 6.4 for me. They're good, could use a bit work, and they're kind of like obvious points, right? I also like you gave me all this juice on the context of food waste, and it's like, yeah, and then it's just like a pantry management thing, right? And so I get it. I get that. Yeah, it's just a little disconnected for me on the strategies a little bit. Okay. Let's keep going. Next person up on the hot seat, Mohammed Salim. We've got services list. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Mel. You're right. Let me pause and I just kind of moved on. Definitely think that Dina's on the way. I think keep going. And yeah, like interesting projects too, just a little bit less words. I get it. It's hard to distill all this stuff, but just know that if I'm reviewing your portfolio to hire, I'm probably looking at 50 other portfolios before and after yours. So like have that in mind when you're writing your copy, right? Have that in mind when you're visualizing, where try to get it to where I can just do this and I can get what you did and how you did it. You know what I mean? I know that's hard. I know that's really hard. And I kind of do from here, right? So that's good. And like, there's a lot of visualizations here, which is great. It's just not in my line of work. So that's kind of the thing. So, all right, continuing on, we've got Mohammed. Let's get back on the clock. 10 minutes on the clock. Let's go. So, does anyone in the chat know how to submit your portfolio? Hey, Syed. Yeah, definitely. You can always go over to my bio link. In there, there's a portfolio reviews button, and you can join the queue from over there. How's everybody doing, by the way? We got any other chats going? All right. Yeah, don't see much other chats. What's up, Umar? I can definitely check your portfolio. Yeah, but you gotta put it in the portfolio review. Good to see you back though. Okay. So continuing, Mohammed. Maybe just do I want to see this and then try to fix those things. Yeah, cool. Love that. All right. So again, all the same feedback on these stuff. We've got, which one do I pick? How do I decide? You got UI UX case study, e-learning apps. That's cool. At least you put in the images, so that's good. But yeah, okay. I'll probably just pick this one. I think. Yeah, let's just go with this one. Let's start. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We got Insight. Oh, Incita is an intuitive e-learning app that offers a diverse range of courses across multiple disciplines with interactive content and personalized learning paths with expert-led instructions. It's designed for accessible, engaging, and flexible learning. So, okay, here's my trouble. What, like that, you could say that about every single e-learning platform, right? What's the thing about this one that makes it awesome? You know what I mean? And I think that's what's missing. It feels like a fake project. And so like start there, right? Is like that's how you make this shit jump off the page to me. Is it's like oh wow, they took e-learning and made it like a TikTok version or something. You know what I mean? Like it's something like that. I don't know. You know, like how can you get like do that, right? Like and nail it for like when you're talking fake projects. You know, you don't have to make like this amazingly cool feature because that's not what your work is as a designer most of the time. However, when you leave a thing like this big paragraph here, which basically just explains every other, course platform out there, then it makes me feel like, dang, okay, there really wasn't an actual problem here that they were solving. And again, all this stuff goes back to the only reason we're doing work is because we have problems to solve. And so this one just felt like, oh, I should make a e-learning app, and so maybe there's more. If there's more, tell me that. Tell me that instead of this paragraph. So continuing on, target audience. Okay, that's fine. I think that's fine. But then see, okay, again, going back to like e-learning, but it's a TikTok version, right? Well, okay, obviously it's a younger audience, right? And so like automatically though, what that's doing is like you're just picking a target audience without a strategy here. Whereas if you started there with TikTok for e-courses, right? And then its target audience is 20 to 35 year olds. Definitely it is. That makes sense. And so like it starts building on each other. And that's why it's so important to start with that problem, because the rest of this shit, all this stuff should be building on this. And there's another block and another block and another block and another block until you got all the way through. Seems like only UI focused, but it could be wrong. Yeah. And ultimately, I think that's what a lot of Behance and Dribble portfolios are going to be. And that's fine for what it is. But when you're trying to have strategy and you're trying to present it as if it's a full project case study, then give me more of the initial strategy of what the antithesis of this project, or inciting incident. Oh shit. Please answer your last question. Have two versions. The one originally created, and the one I created based on your suggestions. How do I submit that? Hey, okay, yeah, that's interesting. I probably won't view it, but so if you want to put both back to back, I'll take a look and I'll just pick whichever one I like better. I guess if that's good with you. Cool. All right, so we got competitive analysis. That's always good to see. Weaknesses: limited account availability in specific fields. Users may struggle to find their desired material. Variety of content quality. Yeah, again, like, I don't know. All this stuff is the surface value stuff, right? It's not, yeah. So I'm just going to skip over all that. And also, too, it's just like way dense, really dense. In a good way, like, right? I think for me, the best competitive analysis is not necessarily like a SWOT analysis, right? Because that's not what you would be doing as a designer, right? What you're doing as a designer is saying, hey, these other people do these things, we're going to do it differently, or we're going to take the best of that and make it better. You know what I mean? Like that's where, creative decision making kind of can be upfront. However, the weaknesses that you're presenting here are very falling flat for me. Because they're kind of just like general things that any platform of Udemy size is going to have, or Coursera or whatever. So, yeah, okay. In quantitative research, with the help of Google Forms, I created online survey. All right. Would be cool to see this summarized somehow. I mean, it's kind of already summarized. It's just kind of like I don't I don't need to see that age question, right? Like, show me the ones that are interesting of like, oh, I didn't expect that, you know? For having exercises after each level or at the end of the course. Okay, I mean, yeah, there's some juice to this, I guess. We got personas, we got user flows. It's pretty visualizations. Yeah, I mean, pretty visualizations. This gap is a problem for me, right here. This gap is the same size as this gap. We gotta move this just a little bit in, or fill this a little bit further. Additionally, I don't like seeing circular pills back to back like this. It starts to like feel really weird to me, especially when you've got search bars like this. I feel like input fields and buttons should be just a little bit different on their styling. But they're both the same for me, which isn't it's not like a killer, but it's definitely like oh man, that's a missed opportunity there. Also too, this should be just a little bit closer to the popular courses. I think like there's definitely more gap here than here, but it's not enough of a step to make it where like if I'm just kind of like scanning really quick, there's a chance that I could zoom in on just the card slider and then popular mentors. And that's the beauty of spacing, right? Is when this is a little bit closer, like maybe like right to right here, it makes it bulletproof, idiot proof, where I know that this is part of popular courses. So yeah, but as Mel said, pretty solid UI. Those are just some the spacing issues for me is the trouble. And I think ultimately every time we design, we have bad decisions pile up. And it's really just about trying to minimize as much of those as we can. And so I think like these bad decisions weren't that bad or egregious. But definitely I could see them piling up later on if there was more screens designed. I hate input fields that are fully rounded. It's just, it needs the label. So where's the label going to go when you tap open on this thing? Maybe, because these are tall enough, maybe you could move email up and have the fill in a little bit. But just those little things are just, I pretty much anytime I see input fields that are fully rounded, I'm pretty much, it's a minus 2 points for me right off the bat, because it's just, I don't know. There's just so many little accessibility UX things, and all of those require you to make further decisions down the line that are completely around UX and not about making it look better, right? And that's what we're trying to do when we get into UI, is avoid as much as we can avoid those things where UX fixes affect the UI. You know what I mean? Ultimately. That's that, yeah. So I can go on. I can go on and on for that. I mean, like layout, composition looks good. Definitely too much gap here on this stuff. Yeah. Oh, you noticed the category? Oh, look at that. You do a lot of QA, huh, Mel? That's funny. Oh, we're up on time, but I mean, pretty good. The design's a solid 7.5, I think. I think, it's just more and more. I'm seeing more of those design decisions. The way that they initially started just kept going, and it led to more and more kind of design debt or something. I guess that's the word. That I think ultimately they didn't go back and fix. We got light modes. That's cool. I mean, pretty good case study. I think the biggest thing is, the breakdown of the strategy of like, why was this made? I still don't buy it. That's the thing. That's the thing for me. But hey, anybody, if you want your portfolio reviewed, you could always hit this guy right here, portfolio reviews. We can always shout over there. Oh geez. So I fixed my camera, or not fixed my camera, but I changed my camera up today. So I didn't do it on my other scene, so you're gonna lose me. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're fixing it now. Here we go. Come on, baby. We're going to chat for a bit once I fix this freaking thing. Oh, makes me want to update your portfolio. It's like 3 years out of date. Well, that probably means that you've had a job for 3 years. Because literally, I think the only reason anybody should ever update their portfolio is because they're about to change. Um, Come on, dude. The way that Streamlabs is working right now, I can't get it to turn into a thing. There it is. Got it. Yes. Hey everybody. Big old view of me. How we doing? God, this camera's so much better than my other webcam, right? Look at this thing. Right? I mean, I don't want to like yeah, it's really good. So, cool. I'm in very high definition right now, right? I don't know. Anyways, we got 10 more minutes before I gotta hop off. But anybody want to chat about anything? Any questions or anything? We can just vibe for a bit. Loved hanging out today. Great vibes over on TikTok. Thanks to Osama and Mel for chiming in all the time. Have you seen Elizabeth in Portfolio Reviews video? Yes, I did. I checked. I actually just did Elizabeth's portfolio today. Lau, if you are Elizabeth, go watch it over on YouTube. All this stuff is streaming over on YouTube, so you can always view it over there. Yesterday's one seemed pixelated. Yeah, it was definitely pixelated. It was what was it? It was just like a webcam, like this guy, Logitech. It was actually pretty good. It was just I think it had a tough time picking up all my lights. Like I've got this. Where is it? I've got this light, and I got this light. Then there's another light up here that you can't see. There's a light this way and another one. Actually, let's see how it picks this one up. I've had to turn it off lately. Oh yeah, even better. Cool. Want to catch more of these? Yeah. I'm so right now I am pretty banged up on work. I've got like a crazy amount of stuff. Yeah, so anyways, doing 2 hours of live every day, every weekday has been a lot for me. But yeah, and so I think I've got to catch up on some things basically. But I will be caught up on those things by middle of next week. So I think my next stream is going to be Wednesday, and it'll probably be around 3:00 Eastern time. So you see a new plugin to transfer local variables from one file to another. Oh, really? That's pretty cool. What's it called? How do we know when you're reviewing our portfolio? Yeah, that's a great question. Let me flip back over to my screen, and I'll show you how to know when you are up on the queue. Yeah, and you're just gonna have to like set a reminder. And also, this is subject to change, so I'm sorry in advance. I'm gonna put this link on my bio link, so stay tuned. It's gonna be probably down here. See where you are in the queue or something like that. But for now, just head to this bit.ly/rad-portfolio-reviews. That's going to take you into this link. It looks like this basically. In here, you will see top 5 leaderboard. You'll see the ability to join the queue, and then you'll also view the queue. And viewing the queue, you can see everybody's portfolio. Currently, there's some that I still haven't filled in yet. So we're further out. We're probably getting into like early June, mid June by now. If you're just joining, but yeah, check the queue for that for your vibe over there. Is there a Discord community? Yes, there is. However, I've been too busy to jump in there. I miss it so much, honestly. So I used to do like a Web3 project and was like just lived in Discord. It was so fun, and it was just so much fun. And so I miss it a lot. I want to get in there. I just don't have the time to do it. However, I am considering doubling down on the community side soon. So stay tuned on that, Osama. Until now, just hang out. Just hang out over here. Thank you for posting these, by the way. Helps if I miss it. Yeah, for sure. And thank you for watching over on YouTube. YouTube's always been kind of like on a pedestal for me. Like my dream is to be a YouTuber. One day. Not my dream, but like I'm big on TikTok. I'm big on Instagram. I'm getting bigger on LinkedIn. And I think that's like the final frontier for me. I mean, obviously Twitter's one, but I don't know. I've never understood Twitter. And like it's funny, text is so much easier to produce, but like I've got so many processes built up around my content now that it's actually harder for me to wrap my head around like writing than it is to make a video. So that's why I think YouTube's the frontier for me, the next frontier. But it'll be a little bit before we get there. So, but yeah. How else we doing, everybody? I've actually got a chat in just a few minutes with a university. I might do a workshop for them, so that'd be pretty dope. I'm now done a guest lecture at University of Michigan, and yeah, this one might be my next foray into it. I might even start getting some more opportunities at the University of Michigan, so we'll see. Later prototypes, can you tell me how to learn like that? Hey, if you want to learn how I prototype, good thing is I've got a Figma course. No, I've got a Figma course where I teach advanced prototyping and stuff, so go check my bio link for that. Yeah, that was my first time bringing up my course. So, yeah, I've got 2 courses, so go buy my courses if you can and if you want to. You think it's a good idea to post ourselves designing or designing in public? What are the pros and cons? Oh gosh. Okay, I got 8 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna set a timer just so I'm not late to that meeting, because I'm about to go off on this in a big way. So yeah, that's how I started as a creator. So before 2020, I didn't post anywhere, not even to like my friends and family. I just wasn't like much of a social media guy. Just funny because here I am with like, a lot of followers on a few platforms. And so, what happened was 2020 hit. I had been feeling a bit in a rut at the product team that I was working at. And yeah, it just kind of felt like unchallenged. And so what happened was in 2020, world changed. Something happened. Do you guys remember what happened in 2020? So I decided to like just go out on my own. I quit that, or not quit that, but I went to like, part-time contract kind of vibe and just started grinding over on TikTok because Gary Vee told me to. And yeah, one thing led to another, and I was trying to get clients. That's what I was trying to do. And so I was posting just design concepts that I was making, and then yeah, one day one of them blew up. Now at the time I had been hustling for like 6 months, and I got like best views I got was like a 5,000 view TikTok, right? And this one got 10,000 views in a day, and I was like, oh shit, world's changing today. And so let me pull up the fucking playlist probably, right? TikTok.com/radnolan. Okay, I'm switching screens. Here we go. So it's all around Tapestry, by the way. So Tapestry, basically, this was the original concept. It was like a gardening reminder app. And then, yeah, I just made a little time-lapse video, kind of blew up, and then it ended up getting like 150,000 or something like that, like 50,000 views or something. And so then somebody commented this: "Please, bro, I'll download this instantly if you can add your own icons for to-do lists." And so I spent like 2 hours, redesigned the concept to be like this. I posted this video. This got like 200,000 views, and like, man, comments were just flying in about like, hey, like tag me when this is out, hey, you should add this feature, whatever. And it just kind of kept going from there. Started getting, dark mode and stuff. And so basically, we designed this app really quickly, like 4 days was just like a fugue state of designing. Had a whole bunch of like really great insights. Ended up becoming like an ADHD to-do list app was the focus. Obviously didn't start that way, right? And then I once we had the designs ready, I started hustling on development. And now I can build in React. And so in React, I went and started building. Got this out. So 30 days from this post, 32 days. It's 30 days. 30 days from this post, we designed and I launched the beta, and it was like a web beta. Yeah, we launched it. Had like 6,000 users the first week. It was so fucking cool. I was like, this is amazing. Like the world, it was just so much fun. So much fun. Ended up finding a developer on a TikTok live. He now builds like we've built a bunch of projects together. And yeah, We launched it on the app stores, like actual app stores, and that we got 70,000 users in the first 3 months. So, to your original question of should you design in public or build in public or whatever, listen, I personally have never posted before 2020. My life has changed. I'm a full-time creator now, right? And I get to do this and help people, and I also get to, I'm still building that app. We're rebuilding it as a V2, and like so, it's like just I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm so lucky to get to do this. And I think the reason why I'm even able to do this is I just get to like keep going. And I get to like I kept looking for the next door, and I just kept opening them. So go do that. Do that. You recommend starting a design on a cell phone or a desktop canvas? Well, okay, that's the thing is I think the easiest way to get views is in Reels and TikTok right now. And desktop designs just look. It's hard to make desktop look good on a vertical frame. So that's why a lot of my designs, a lot of my tutorials are in vertical mode or mobile apps. Obviously I do a lot of mobile app design, but my job that I had recently, I quit it in November, but I was there for a little over a year. Pretty much, we didn't even have any mobile work done. I was just doing desktop stuff, and that was really where I started blowing up as a design educator. So, yeah, post their work, as you never know who's watching. Amen. Yes, that's great. And this is the app Biden wants to ban, right? Yeah, I know. We don't need to get into that. The truth is, here's the thing. I love TikTok. I think I would miss it when it's gone. However, what I will say is, for me as a creator, there's opportunity there, right? If it does get banned, I'm not stressing too much on if it gets banned, because all of us are going to keep using TikTok, right? Everybody who's using TikTok wants to use something like TikTok, and so there's going to be a huge wave of audience attention shifts to somewhere else. And I'm just So I'm hopeful that it doesn't happen, but if it does, there'll still be something like that somewhere. I think I don't know. Maybe I'm hopeful, but anyways, I gotta hit it, y'all. Much love to everybody here. Thanks so much for joining me today. It was a great live, and I'll definitely be back probably Wednesday next week. And until then, have an awesome